Good afternoon, students. Am I audible? Am I audible to you? Okay. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the PHP functions. In this lecture, we will see what is function, what is the syntax to create a function in PHP, clear, and types of functions. Okay. Okay. Now, what is function? A function is a reusable piece of or block of code that performs some specific action. Specific action means a function is designed for specific task, a particular task. Clear? Reusable piece means we can call it anytime or many times. Okay. Block of code, it is defined by curly brackets and have some name like F1. Okay. It takes input from the user in the form of parameters. We can pass some values here that a function use. Clear? Performs certain actions and gives the output. After executing all the statements, it produces some result. Function can either return values when called or can simply perform an operation without returning any value. Okay, and what is return value? At the end of function, we have some value to return back from where it is called. Clear? After like here we are calling f1 function. Okay, this call statement will transfer the control where function is defined. Okay, after executing it returns some value back from where it is called, and return type is optional depending upon the requirement. Clear? As you learn in C how to define function, what is function call. Okay, I will explain all these terms. Why use functions? Better code organization. You can decompose any problem in procedures. Clear? Group blocks of related code that perform specific tasks together. Like you have to perform an operation like for arithmetic application. Okay, you have to perform arithmetic operations. Clear? For this, you first create a function for addition. Okay, then you create for subtraction, then you create for division like this. Now we have three functions like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and addition function is designed for performing addition task. This is designed for subtraction task, and this is designed for division. Okay, this is a how we organize our problem of arithmetic operations. Clear? Reusability, a function once defined, a function can be called by a number of scripts in our PHP files. We can call it anytime. Okay, this saves us time for reinventing the wheel when we want to perform some routine tasks such as connecting to the database. Okay, like in we have already created some functions and we can call them, we can reuse them many times. Clear? Easy maintenance, update to the system only need to be in the one place. If you have to change or update any function, you just update the code of function. Clear? You have to update only at one place. Now types of functions, two types of functions basically. One is internal, or we can say built-in functions or ready-made functions that come with the core PHP, and Second is user defined functions. And what is user defined functions? These are the functions created by the user according to the application, according to the requirement. Okay. And built-in functions are comes with the PHP, and you just use them. Like we have used some library functions or built-in functions, such as like variable dump function, empty function. Okay, these are the inbuilt functions. Internal functions, these are called predefined, ready-made. User only call them and use them. Okay, we have not defining the code of what variable dump function does. Okay, what empty function does. We just use them. Clear? User defined functions, in some cases built-in functions are not available for solving some problem. Okay, then according to the requirement, user has to create, define the function and call that function for execution. Clear? On user defined functions, besides the built-in PHP functions, we can create our own functions. Function is a block of statements that can be used repeatedly in a program. Okay, you can call them many times according to the requirement. Like we seen the example of static keyword. Okay, in that program example, we have called that function 3 times. Clear? A function will not execute immediately when a page loads. A function will executed by a call to function. Clear? For defining functions, we have uh, here we have two parts. Okay, two components of function. First is function call statement, and second is function definition. Clear? Function call statement and function definition. And how to write function call statements? In this we have function name, like function name, and followed by round brackets. Okay, in function definition, we have function keyword, like function, then we have function name, and then round brackets, and then opening curly bracket, and define the code of function, what the function will do, and close that curly bracket. Okay, and what a function call does? Function call statement transfer the control to function definition. Okay, you have created a function, defined a function, writing the code of the function, but that code is unused until you call that function. Clear? For the execution of function, you have to write function call. Okay, function call will transfer the control to function definition. Clear? And if your function accepting some data or variable, clear, then you have to pass here. We will see in the further slides how to pass an argument or values to function. We will see in the further slides. Clear? Okay, now how to create a user defined function? In previous lectures, we have seen some examples where we are using a function. Clear? Here is the syntax for creating a function. First you have to write function keyword, then function name. Okay, then you have to define your statements, your code, what function will do. Clear? This is the syntax for function call. Function name and round brackets followed by semicolon. Clear? This will transfer the control to function definition. Okay, a function name can start with the letter or underscore, not a number. You cannot start a function name with number. Give a function name that reflects what function does. Okay, what it means? You have to give a name to function like according to its task. Okay, according to its task, so that you can identify from the function name what a function doing. Clear? What a function will do, you can then identify easily from the name of that function. Like for example, we have a function named addition. Okay, we have a function name like addition. From that function we can easily identify that this function will do addition. Okay, and from like we have another function like get account number. Okay, suppose we have this function, and from the name of the function we will guess that this function is used for getting account number. Clear? Like we have another function name, like we have function name print data, and from this name we can identify that this function will print some data. Clear? This function will print some data. And the last point here, function names are not case sensitive. Okay, you can write in the capital cases or small cases. Clear? Function names are not case sensitive. Okay, now this is the example. Here I have shown what is function call. Okay, a function call is an expression that passes control and arguments, if any, to a function. Clear? Arguments will be defined in these round brackets. Okay, if your function accepting some data, otherwise the parenthesis will be empty. Clear? And function call, what do it passes the control and arguments to a function. Okay, the like we have here, we have function. First we define function keyword add num. We have function with name add num. Okay, and in this function we have two variables x and y, and we are printing addition. Clear? We are doing addition of these numbers, we are adding numbers. Clear? Here function is closed, and here we have a function call statement. How to identify it is a function call statement? This will with the function name and followed by round brackets and then semicolon. Okay, this is the function call statement. And now when this controls comes here, then function call will transfer the control to function definition. Clear? Now the function will execute and print this addition. Clear? If the function have some return value, if the function will have some return value, then it returns back from where it is called. Clear? But in this example, function is a without return value. It simply does the work. Here is the example. Another example. Okay, this is our PHP file. Here we have a PHP code. Okay, here we are created a function print string. Okay, and this function will print this line. This is a user defined function. Clear? And close. Here we have closed this function, and this is the function call statement print string. This is the function name and followed by round brackets, and then it will transfer the control to this function definition, and the function will execute. Okay, and it will print this is a user defined function. Clear? Okay, is it clear to you what is function, how to declare function? Okay, now what is function argument? Sometimes a function may need some data variables to perform some operations. Okay, like there is some function, you have to pass some values, and that function will work on that values and give us back result. Clear? These are called arguments. data or variable we are passing to a function, we are passing to a function that are called arguments, okay, or we can say parameters. Clear? For this example, suppose here is a function like age calculator function. Okay, suppose here is a function age calculator named, and this function accepting two arguments. First is your date of birth, and second it takes current date. Okay, current date. This function will accept two values. Okay, for calculating the age it will require two values or two arguments. First is your date of birth and second is current date. And after passing date of birth and current date, it will give the result, like it will return age. It will return age. Okay, it will calculate the age from your date of birth and current date, and after execution of this function it will return your age. Clear? Now this function accepting two values, two variables. First is your date of birth and second is current date. Okay, these are the called arguments or parameters we are passing to a function. Clear? What is arguments, or what is argument? Argument, sometimes a function may need some data or variables to perform some operations. Okay, so we pass some values or variables to that function at the time of function call. When we call that function, we have to pass some values if your function accepting some data. Clear? Information can be passed to a function through arguments, and argument is just like a variable. Clear? Argument is just variable or data. Arguments are specified after a function name inside the parentheses. After function name, here we have function name age calculator, and in the brackets, in the parentheses, you can add as many arguments as you want. Clear? Just separate them with the comma. You can add any number of arguments, just separated with the comma. Here we have example user defined function with arguments. Clear? Now see this example. Here this is a PHP code, and here we have a radius variable rad and having value 10, and we have created a function by using function keyword, named it cal area. Okay, this function is what? This function is calculating the area of circle. Clear? This is the function definition. Here this function accepting one argument r. Clear? And in this function we are calculating area of circle, and this is the formula of area of circle, pi r square. Clear? This is the value of pi, and we multiply r with 2 times for scaling. Clear? And after calculating, the result will be stored in the area variable. Clear? And we are printing area of circle is here area. Clear? Here we are closing this function, and this is the function call statement. Here we are passing radius variable. Clear? And radius variable have value 10. Okay, now when we call this function, function call statement will transfer the control to function definition, and the value of 10, value of radius variable will be copied to r variable. Okay, and now r variable have value 10. Okay, and after calculating, the output will be this. The value of radius variable will be copied to this r variable. Okay, radius have value 10, and now this value is passed to r variable, and now r variable have value 10. Clear? Example is clear to all of you? Okay, this is another example of passing arguments to function by value. Function with two arguments. Here we have example where function accepting two arguments. Clear? Here we have first variable name 1 and email 1. Okay, this is the for first user, and here we have two another variables name 2 and email 2. Clear? Now we have defined a function and function named is print data, and it accepting two arguments, one for name and another for email. Clear? As you have seen in C programming, the arguments in function definition are called formal arguments, and the arguments in function call statement are called actual arguments, because we are passing the values of these arguments. Okay, clear? In function call, the arguments are called actual arguments because we pass the values in the function call statements. Clear? Okay, here we have defined the function. In function we are accepting two arguments, first for name and another for email, and here we are printing name and email. Clear? Now we have called this function. First, in first function call we are passing name 1 and email 1. Clear? And this function call statement will transfer control to function definition, and value of name 1 will be copied into n. Okay, and value of email 1 will be copied to this variable em. Clear? And this here we are printing name and email. Clear? And on second function call we are passing name 2, and name 2 value will be copied to now n, and email 2 will be copied into em variable, and here we are printing, and it prints second name and second email. Clear? Okay, in this case, in this example we have created name 1 variable, name 1. Okay, this have some value. We have created name 2 variable, and it have some value like Jitinder Singh in name 2, and in name 1 we have Rakesh Kumar. Okay, similarly we have email 1 variable, and we have some value like rakesh.k@yahoo.com, and we have email 2, and in email 2 we have value jitinder.s@yahoo.com. Okay, now when this function will execute, a variable n will be created and assigned value. Okay, in first function call, this name 1 value will be copied into n. Name 1 will have Rakesh Kumar, and Rakesh Kumar value will be copied into n1, n variable. Clear? And we have em variable. Okay, the value of email 1 will be copied into em, and value of email 1 is rakesh.k. Okay, and this value rakesh.k@yahoo.com will be copied into email variable, and here we are printing them. Clear? Similarly, when we call second time, name 2 value will be copied into n, and email 2 value will be copied into em variable. Now PHP default argument value. Okay, before doing this, we will see example. I'm going to sharing screen. We have created a notepad file. Okay, in this we have to create a PHP file doc type HTML. We are starting a body tag. In this we have a PHP tag and closing tag. Here we are closing body tag and we are closing HTML tag. Okay, I will explain. For example, suppose here we are creating a function, then we have to write function keyword. Then we have to give name of that function. Like we are giving print data. Clear? And we are defining opening and closing curly bracket. Clear? And now here we are printing some value. This is a function. Okay, we have created this function and now we are going to save this function. Save as. We are to save in C drive, XAMPP folder, and in htdocs folder and PHP script. Here we are giving first function dot PHP. Clear? First function dot PHP, and we are going to save it. Okay, and in browser window we are localhost PHP script folder. Okay, we have to run the server first. Start server. Okay, we have created first function file. Now we are going to execute. Okay, it will show nothing because we have not called the function. Clear? We have to add function call statement so that we can execute the function. Okay, now we are added the function call statement. It will execute the function. It will transfer the control here and this statement will be executed. Clear? Now run this file. You can see this is a function. Okay, function call statement will transfer the control to function. Clear? Okay, now the concept is what is default argument. What is default arguments? As we see, the name is default argument value. Clear? We can set arguments value. Okay, we can set argument value in function definition, and while we are calling a function, we need not to specify all the arguments. Clear? See, default arguments are used when you provide no arguments or only few arguments while calling a function. A default argument is value provided in function definition that is automatically assigned by the system if the caller of the function does not provide a value for the argument with the default value. Okay, what it means, when you can define some values for the arguments in the function definition, and at the time of function call you need not to specify or define all the arguments. Okay, if you are in the if you are using three arguments in the function definition and you have assigned a value. Okay, you have assigned a value for one argument in the function definition, and at the time of function call you need only to define two variables. Clear? You need not to define all three arguments. You can call the function with by defining only, by passing only two arguments. Okay, because in function definition you already set a value of the third argument. We will see the example. We will see the example here. Like you can see here, in this example, you have two variables x and y. Okay, and in this is a function print data named, and here you have three arguments. Okay, x, y, and z. And for z you have set a value. Okay, we have set a value 40. Clear? And in this function we are printing value of x, y, and z. Clear? Now there are two cases. In first we are passing only two arguments. That is 20 and 30. Okay, 20 and 30. Now on calling this function we are not passing the value of z. Okay, this 20 will be assigned to x, and this 30 will be assigned to y, and z is assigned a default value 40. Clear? You can see here. Okay, and in second case passing all arguments. Here we are passing three values. First is assigned to x, and second is assigned to y, and third is assigned to z. Okay, if a variable have default value in function definition, but if we have passed a value in function calling also, like here x have default value 40, but we are passing value of x also. Now in this case x will be assigned to 60. Okay, now in this case x will be assigned to 60, and the default value will be override. Default value will be override. Clear? And the rule is we have to define default values from right to left. Okay, from right to left. We can like we have to define value of z, then y, then x. We cannot define value in between or from left side. Okay, we have to define values from right side. This is the rule. Like in this example, this is the invalid way of passing default arguments. This is invalid. Clear? We cannot pass values like this. Okay, here we are passing a value 30, and now the system will not know to which the value 30 will be assigned. Clear? This is the inefficient way. This is the invalid. Clear? Is it clear to you? Okay, then we have to move next slide. Now, PHP functions, we have the concept of return value. For return, may return value back from which function is called is done by using the return keyword. Okay, what is return value? As I said earlier, uh, at the last statement of the function is return value, which is optional. It depends upon the requirement. A function have to return some value back from where it is called or not. Clear? For returning value, we have to use keyword return. Then we have to write here a variable or any expression. Clear? Values are returned by using the optional return statement. Any type may be returned, including arrays and objects. This causes the function to end its execution immediately and pass control back to the line from which it is called. Okay. If function have some return value, then it will return the value from where it is called. Okay. It will return from where it is called. Now this is the example of return, how to return some value. This is a basic example. Here we have a function named addition. Okay, and it accepts two arguments. Okay, now in this function we are adding x1 and y1 and storing the result in result variable and returning result. It will return the control from where it is called. Okay, now in printing statement we are calling this function sum is. Here we are writing sum is, and this is the function called addition 10 and 20. Okay, this will pass the control to function definition. 10 will be assigned to x1 and 20 will be assigned to y1, and in this we are adding 10 and 20. It will store 30 in result variable, and this is the return statement, and it will return the control from where it is called. Okay, and it will print 30. Clear? Now in second printing statement we are printing sum is, and here we are passing 45 and 30. Now 45 will be assigned to x1 and 30 will be assigned to y1, and this will add these numbers and store the result in result variable. 45 plus 30, 75. It will print 75. And in third statement we are passing float values. Okay, decimal points values. Clear? Return statement, what do? Return statement returns the value back from where it is called. Okay, from where the function is called, it will return the control. Now we can also write expressions in the return statement. Like here in this example we are using a third variable result for storing the addition. Okay, but in this example we are using only expression in the return statement. We are not using third variable. We are directly adding x1 and y1 and returning back from where it is called. From where it is called from here. Clear? This will transfer the control to function definition 10 and 20. Clear? Now here adding 10 and 20, but which is 30, and return back from it is called. Okay, 30, 75 and 50.8. Clear? Is this example clear to you? Okay. We have seen the function call statement. We have seen this function call statements like this. We have seen the function call statements. Now we have the concept of dynamic function calls. Dynamic function calls. What means dynamic? Dynamic means runtime. Clear? It is possible to assign function names. It is possible to assign function names as strings. Okay, we can assign function names as string values to variables, and then treat these variables exactly as you would the function name itself. Okay, we can assign function names to some variables, and then that variables can be used as we use functions. Clear? See the example. In this example, in the PHP code, we have created a function print data, and we are printing in this function. This is a dynamic function, and here we are creating a variable function holder, variable named function holder, and assigning function name as a string, assigning function name as string to variable. Clear? And we can use these variables as same as we are using functions. Okay, now this is the function call statement. It will transfer the control here. Clear? We have created a function holder named variable and assigning a function name as a string to this function. Clear? And we are executing this we are treating it as same as we are treat function. Clear? We are writing this function name like this function variable name like function holder round bracket semicolon, and this will transfer the control to function definition. Clear? This is the concept of function dynamic function calls. This all processing will done at runtime. Okay, this all binding will done at runtime. No, you have to write string in single or double quotes. Clear? If you remove double quotes, then it will not be a string. Okay, let's see the example. We will see the example. What happen if we remove double quotes? Clear? Okay, here we have function name print data. Here we are creating a variable print var. First, we will assign function name print data. Now we are using variable name as function. Okay, first we will execute this. Now save this file. Okay, print data semicolon print var. Okay, we have to put this sign with the function name. Okay, now this is working. Now according to your question, we are doing removing. Okay, here is the error. undefined constant. Clear? Now after removing the double quotes, it will not be a string. But what the rule is say, we have to assign function name as a string, okay, as a string to another variable, and then you can treat this variable name as a function. Clear? Okay. Okay, this is all dynamic function calls. Now we have some inbuilt functions like get type function. Now what this function will does, it returns the type of variable. Clear? For getting type of variable, you can use this get type function, and what type of return values it can return, like boolean, integer, double, string, array, object, resource, null. Clear? Now here you can see the example of get type function. Here we have a variable a and printing echo get type of a. Clear? It prints integer because a is of integer type. B is of double type. Clear? C is of string type. It returns string. Then D is a array. It returns array. And here we are. This is an empty array. Okay, without any elements. And now E is a also array. It returns array. Now F we are assigning null, so it returns null. And G variable is of type boolean having value false. Okay, then it returns its type, what is boolean. Clear? Now here we have seen this return type string because this function returns in the type of string. Okay, because this returning just this text. Okay, these are the strings. Clear? It tell us about the variable, a variable, what type a variable have. Clear? Like integer, double, string, array. The return type of this function is of string type. Clear? Now a function is bool. Is bool function is used to check if a variable is of bool type or not. Clear? Is bool function checks whether a variable is a boolean or not. This function returns true if the variable is a boolean, otherwise it returns false. Okay. uh, in PHP you also have variables like is integer, is float, is double, like these functions. Clear? Return value is of true if the variable is a boolean, false otherwise, and return type is boolean. Clear? The value what function returns after execution is of boolean type. Now here is the example of this function a equal 1. This is of integer type. Okay, 1 is of integer type, and we are checking is bool a. Now it returns nothing. Clear? We are assigning 0. We are checking is bool b. It returns nothing because these are integer type. Clear? Now we are checking c, assigning value true. Okay, this true is of what type? Boolean. We are checking is bool and it returns 1 because true, because c is of boolean type. And here we are assigning value false to d, and we are checking is bool d and it returns 1. Clear? And it returns 1 because d is of type boolean. Clear? All these type of examples we will implement in practical class. Okay, all your doubts will be covered in the practical class of these type of programs. Clear? For this is functions. This is here we have a date function for printing or getting date or time. Clear? PHP date function is used to format a date or a time. Function format timestamp to more readable date and time. And syntax of this function is we are passing format and then timestamp. Date function accept 2 arguments. First is format. We have to pass the format of date, and then second is timestamp, which is the optional argument. You may or may not pass. Specify is the timestamp. Default is the current date and time. Clear? Now get a date. How we can print a date? The required format parameter of date function specify how to format a date or time. Here are some characters that are commonly used for dates. Clear? These are the characters which are used for printing date. First is small d, represent the month, day of month. Clear? Second is small m, represent the month, and third is capital Y, represent the year in 4 digits, and last is L, lowercase l, represent the day of week. Clear? Other characters like forward slash or comma or dot or hyphen can also be inserted between the characters to add additional formatting. Okay, you can use any separator in between. These are the characters that are used for printing date. Clear? This is the example for printing date in different formats. First is like today's date function. We are using capital Y, small m, small d, and printing in this format. Then in this format, and we are printing here L, which prints day of week. Today is, it prints the name of the day. Clear? Small l. Now for printing the time, okay, Now this is the example for printing time. Okay, and it will print this. Clear? First of all, you have to set time zone. It will take some default time zone and print, but you, according to our country, you have to use like this time zone, Asia, Kolkata. And here we are printing time by using date function. Here h for hours. Clear? This is small h for 12 year for 12 are the format, I for minutes, and s for seconds, and a for like morning or evening time, like am pm. Clear? It will print the time according to the time zone. If you are not using here, then it will take some default time zone and print the time accordingly. Clear? Now here we have a function named print r function. Print r function is a built-in function in PHP and is used to print or display information stored in the variable. Okay, stored in variable, and it accepts two arguments, variable and is store. Parameters, two parameters, variable and is store. A variable, this parameter specifies the variable to be printed. Which variable you want to print, you can write here, and is a mandatory parameter. Okay, and second is store. This an option parameter. You can skip this parameter. You can only use one parameter. Okay, and this parameter is of boolean type whose default value is false. Here you have to pass true or false. Okay, default value is false and is used to store the output of the print r function in a variable rather than printing it. Okay, we will see the examples, then you will understand better what it say. Like here we can see here in the first example of print r function, we have a variable x array. Clear? And in this we are printing array. We are using print r function and passing x. Clear? And it will print array like first element 10 is at 0 index, 20 is at 1 index, 30 is at sec 2 index, 40 is at third index, and 50 is at fourth index. Clear? But if you use echo, then you use x, it will simple print array, not printing its element. It will simple print array, this, not its element. Okay, now this is the example where we are is setting value true of second argument. In this case, we have a x variable, an array. Okay, for creating array, you have to use function array, and then here we are passing integer values. If your values are of string type, then you have to pass values in double quotes. Clear? We will do array in the next classes. And now here we are using another variable p. Okay, now it will transfer its values, or we can say variable p will store output of function print r. Okay, and what is the output of function print r? This. Okay, and we are printing p here. If you directly print echo variable x, then it will not print, it will print only this. Okay, but now by using print r function, we can store its value to another variable and print that variable. Clear? Okay, this parameter, second parameter optional, and this parameter is of Boolean type whose default value is false and is used to store the output of the print R function in a variable rather than printing it. This if this parameter is set to true, then print R function will return the output which it is supposed to print. Okay, it will return, print R function will return this output and store in the p variable. Clear? Okay, this is all about the functions, how to create a function, what is function, and what is user defined function, what is library function or built-in function, and we have done some library functions, and all the practical examples of these functions, these lecture we will do, we will implement in the practical class. If anyone have any doubt, kindly ask me. If anyone have any doubt. Okay, now I am going to launch a poll, so you have to answer the question. Answer the question. Functions that are created according to the need when required are. Answer the question. Functions that are created according to the need when required are. Answer the question quickly. What they are called? Built-in functions, user-defined, or functions with return type. Functions that are created according to the need when required are. Okay, correct answer is user defined functions. Functions that are created according to need when required are user defined functions. Correct answer is user defined functions. Okay, now I'm launching second question. Values for default arguments are assigned from. Answer the question. Values for default arguments are assigned from values for default arguments are assigned from and the correct answer is right to left. First option. Values for default arguments are assigned from right to left. Okay, students, thank you. Thank you for watching the session. We will meet in next lecture.